There you go.
Hey,
Hi. Well, we've got our full house without Matt, and he might join us later. So let's call the Statewide Administrative Charging Committee meeting to order. This is February 23rd, 2026. We don't have a tremendous agenda, but it's probably going to take us a bit of a while to get through it. The agenda was sent out by Carrie late last week. And first thing we'll do is just go through and introduce ourselves and just make a statement that you don't have any conflicts of interest, or if you do, please announce it. So I'm Bob Brennan. I've read the files and I do not have any conflicts of interest.
Donna Brown, I've read the files and I do not have any conflicts of interest.
David Mitchell, I've read most of the files. I had, as I indicated before we started formally, I had a couple of questions with regard to some of the files, but I'm prepared.
With
I have no conflicts of interest.
clarification, I've read the files and don't have any conflicts of interest, but the only ones I did not receive were the ones from NCPP. I didn't receive those. I was able to find one of them in the Google Drive, but the other ones I did not.
There were two that I could not find.
Yeah.
I found a portion of one, none of the other.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that when we get.
I don't want to identify names until we go into confidentiality.
Okay.
Rodney Burrell, I've read the files and I have no conflict of interest at this.
Great. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
A motion to go into closed session.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are now in closed session. Carrie, do you want to read your statement?
It is proposed that the Statewide Administrative Charging Committee's open session of its 42nd meeting on February 23rd, 2026 be adjourned to a closed session. The session will be closed under the authority of General Provisions Article 3-305B, Annotated Code of Maryland, subsection 1, to discuss the appointment and employment of an individual over whom the committee has jurisdiction, specifically to render a decision as to whether to charge police officers from Maryland Capitol Police, Maryland Department of Health, Maryland National Capital Park Police, Prince George's County Division, Maryland State Police, Maryland Transit Administration, Maryland Transportation Authority with police misconduct. Subsection 2, to protect the privacy or reputation of an individual with respect to a matter that is not related to public business, specifically the police officers from Maryland Capitol Police, Maryland Department of Health, Maryland National Capital Park Police, Prince George's County Division, Maryland State Police, Maryland Transit Administration, Maryland Transportation Authority, against whom allegations of misconduct were made. And subsection 7, to consult with the council and obtain legal advice regarding the applicability of the Police Accountability Act as applied to the officers accused of police misconduct.
Carrie, we're back in open session. We can't hear you. Now we
The
can.
Statewide ACC conducted a closed session on February 23rd, 2026 from 1:04 p.m. to 2:58 p.m. to render a decision on 49 allegations as to administratively charge or not administratively charge police officers with police misconduct. Members voting were Robert Brennan, Donna Brown, Rodney Burrell, and David Mitchell. Decisions rendered were as follows. Maryland Capitol Police, 1 administratively charged, 5 not administratively charged. Maryland Department of Health, 2 administratively charged, 0 not administratively charged. Maryland National Capital Park Police, PG County Division, 0 administratively charged, 0 not administratively charged, 10 returned to the agency. Maryland State Police had 6 administratively charged, 10 not administratively charged, and 11 that were not within the ACC's jurisdiction. Maryland Transit Administration had 0 administratively charged, 2 not administratively charged. Maryland Transportation Authority had 0 administratively charged, 2 not administratively charged. Anything else for the good of the order?
Harry, I don't know if you were aware of the ACC. There was a story in today's Baltimore Banner.
I saw it.
Okay. was a
Yep.
case that was considered by the ACC involving a University of Maryland College Park police officer where the ACC recommended charges. The charges were dismissed at the trial board level, and then it proceeded to a decertification in front of the Maryland Police Training and Standards Commission, and the officer was decertified. But since it mentions the ACC, thought I'd bring it to your attention. In today's
Did you
Baltimore
share-
Banner,
did you share that article?
Yes, I will send it all to you. You have to have a subscription for
I
Baltimore
do
Banner.
have one. So
So I know
yeah,
some of the people couldn't read it in here, so I have it in a Word document. I can send it all to you.
awesome.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Yep. And just for a note, and I know Nora and I actually spoke about this earlier, and I can share the spreadsheet with the rest of you. In January, Matthew and I emailed all the agencies asking what the status of any trial boards were and if they were overturned. Very early on, majority of them were overturned because we were not doing finding of facts. We were not putting in enough information, which is why this one for University of Maryland got overturned. We did not have enough facts. We have since, and that was from February, so we have since extensively changed how we do our written opinions. It used to take me a half an hour. It now takes me almost 2 to 3 hours per case. And some of these cases we had this time, it took me all day to do some of the cases. So we have fixed a lot of the problems that we are having with the trial boards overturning our decisions. But I'm still waiting to hear back on some of the trial boards after we redid our format. But the two that did go with the new format were both upheld. So I think we're going in the right direction.
What was the time frame for the case that made the public the papers?
February. We heard it in February.
February of this year or
25.
25? Okay.
So I will forward that to you all shortly. You're getting lots of emails from me today.
Okay.
Good.
One other one. Do we have any? I know there was an article in the Baltimore Sun a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, commenting upon the backlog of trial boards in Baltimore City and how much of a problem that is. But it didn't mention really mention any other jurisdictions. Do we have an issue occurring with trial boards backing up on our cases?
Yeah, so I know I talked to Natural Resources and they were having a hard time getting a trial board. They had one that was going to a trial board and they were having a hard time getting the trial board coordinated. Most of the agencies know I work with them to clarify who is trained, because the civilians have to be trained, the police officers have to be trained, and the judges that sit on it, the ALJ or retired judge, also have to be trained. So I have a whole database of everybody in the state of Maryland that's been trained. So I do work closely with both MSP and NRP to make sure they have access to people that are trained, that are in their areas where they're holding the trial board. So I do know there is a small backlog, but not nearly as bad as what Baltimore City's facing.
Do we have a sense of how many people asked for trial boards after we rendered our decision?
It honestly was not as many as I thought it was going to be. Majority was MSP, which obviously they also have the majority of the cases. And now that we've done a much broader finding of facts and that we have more detailed information in that, we're not seeing as many as we were.
Okay.
If there's no more business, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate your time and attention to these matters.
Thank
Stay
you.
Thank you all.
Everyone
Thank
stay safe.
You
Thank
too.
you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.